Yeah, that's exactly what's happening.
That might be what's happening.
Okay, it's a conspiracy.
Yeah. I can't believe you went to the European round robin and told people to play Forest and told people to play. What was the other thing? Man, you were just telling people to play all these weird decks. Who is your prediction?
If I had to pick, though, I would say Cure Mango here.
Cure Mango?
I think I'm going to go Cure Mango. Just, again, he's playing really well today. We already saw him play. We saw Underwear not do so hot. So, like, I think I'm gonna have to go with Mango just based on how well he's playing so far.
All right, Cure Mango is a choice. Exo, if you had the choice, would you also pick Cure Mango, or is there an argument for Underwear here that you actually think will put him ahead?
Well, you can't leave home without your underwear, so I'm never gonna vote against it. You know, it just makes for a better day. You know what I mean? So I think he's got a slight edge there, but no. Again, I think Underwear has a lot more practice. Again, Cure Mango has the unfortunate, unfortunate is the wrong word. He's just not a part of a team, doesn't get a lot of practice in. Disaster is one of those teams that actually practices a ton for these tournaments. So I know Underwear is really well prepared, and I think that just gives him a slight edge. I wouldn't say it's going to win him the match or anything like that, but I would still vote for Underwear.
I don't believe you. I think you were just saying that.
I gotta make it pronounced when I beat you in these. I gotta make it so pronounced, you know what I mean? Because if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong, and then whatever. But if I'm right, then it just means that I'm super right. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah. Still not buying it. But, okay, so let's get into this game. What do we got over here? So, I actually am kind of curious to know, since we know that Underwear is rocking the Dead Morose tech, do you think that's going to play a factor in this matchup at all?
In this matchup, not at all. The life gain's not going to matter. The big stats aren't really going to matter. Well, technically they might on a singular turn if there's no answer to it on turn 5, but past that it's not really going to be a problem. And you don't really want to be giving your board away to a deck that's trying to get your board away. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to play into their game
right.
plan. So that's not so good. But I think Underwear's got a more aggressive lineup this time. I don't know if this is the same Dead Moros deck that he's playing, because he's got Skeleton Fighter in here, which leads me to believe that I might be a little bit more aggressive. Let's take a quick look here.
About to do the same.
Nope, still playing Dead Moros. Okay, never mind. It's only a one of. It's just a fun card. It's not going to play a big factor here, but yeah. He's got a good aggressive start here. Let's see if he can capitalize on this with his Attendant and things like that.
Okay, so gonna take out the Big Knuckle Bodyguard. This is gonna go, yeah, that's going to face. Now, the thing about when you're fighting blood is you do want to do as much damage as you can, but you have to respect Vengeance even against Control Blood.
Yes. You always have to make a concession to the fact that if you put them into Vengeance too early, then they can start doing the things like Revelation for 4 instead of 8, Diabolic Drain for 1 instead of 4 to like come back in a big way. So you generally, like, the plan is you want to set them to about 11, like as best you can. Hope they don't have a Blood Pact or something to actually activate Vengeance, and then basically just save all your damage for that big push right after that 11 health turn to get them down as low as you possibly can, and then hopefully finish out right after that.
So Underwear is carefully considering his options here. He doesn't actually have a way of popping his Attendant or the Lurching Corpse in his hand. The Lurching Corpse specifically to be able to deal with this Scarlet Sabrewer. So it looks like if he wants to get rid of it, he's going to have to trade into it.
Yep. I actually I would like an evolve on one of these aggressive followers here, especially because of that Dark Conjurer. I'm not sure why he's saving the Evo points. He doesn't have a lot of hand left to be aggressive with, so I think he missed out on 2 damage there that he should have capitalized on.
Well, what we can see is Kimango's got all the removal, okay? He's got Revelations, he's got 2 Blood-Hungry Matriarchs. I mean, what? Like,
yeah, he's got a lot of boards there. Also,
and
he used the Mask of Black Death to not take damage from Belphegor. Interesting.
I like that. Again, you don't really want to be taking extraneous damage, and his opponent has already shown the propensity to be aggressive. So, I mean, do you really want to be taking extra damage? You don't have to.
I guess that makes sense. He's also not setting himself up very well for these Blood-Hungry Matriarchs to actually clean out the entire board. So I feel like he's just going to do it over multiple turns and just get a little aggressive here, which is fine. Makes a little bit more sense, too, because Underwear doesn't really have a lot of cards in his hand, and he hasn't played those Soul Conversions, those Demon Eaters you really want to see early with Shadow to get your card draw going. So I think your Mega's line's pretty good here.
So, well, he can use the Zombie Party if he wants to take out the belt, which he does. But now Underwear is at a loss for cards. A really big loss for cards.
So not dealing with that Lurching Corpse means that Blood-Hungry Matriarch will kill itself if it's played, and it will actually put out a ton of power. It will put out 6 power worth of followers. So that might not be the option here, but I don't know if he really has anything else he can do.
Well, I mean, there is also just playing the, the Big Knuckle Bodyguard on the Lurching Corpse, just to get rid of it, so he can set up for that potential type of play next turn. Or, if he wants, he can use the Big Knuckle Bodyguard on the Attendant of Night to use that and Evo, if he wants to burn his last Evo, to take out the Lich. But I kind of like the idea of just getting rid of this Lurching Corpse.
Yeah, I think there's two ways to look at it. Like, this is the last turn he really has access to. Like, obviously it's scary because next turn could be Ektar, and that last card in Underwear's hand could be Ektar. But if he doesn't do the Blood-Hungry Matriarch play this turn, it's going to be really hard for him to deal with this board over the next couple of turns. Because every turn he basically waits to not deal with the Attendant and the Bone Chimera, it's just sitting in play, being imposing.
Oh, no. Now, so Underwear draws into a Soul Conversion. This will allow him to be able to kill the Sabrewer and draw into more options, but he didn't really draw anything either. Oh my goodness.
Well, the Lurching Corpse again essentially sets up the same exact play, and then if he also plays the Bone Chimera here, he just has a board that can't be wiped, which is a really good position to be in against Control Blood.
My friend's pretty terrifying, right?
So,
and this is a turn, and I think he's going to do the exact play like we talked about. Set as a... Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Why?
Oh, no. You don't give him Vengeance, man. Double Rev, easy. He just cost himself.
I think that was a game-losing play. Is exactly what we were talking about. You have to respect the Vengeance and then push the following turn. Did not wait.
And he's rewarded with that, but that's not so much a reward as it's going to get blown out.
Well, he would have been insanely rewarded, because that Ektar would have been a game-winning play this turn had those followers still been in play.
Yep. Very huge error in judgment putting him in Vengeance deliberately. Because had he not done that, the Blood Moon, he would have, Kiermangle would have been able to play the Blood Moon, but the problem is that he wouldn't have been able to double rev.
Right, he wouldn't have been able to wipe the board twice. That Ektar off the top most likely would have won the game. And now he's in a position that I don't think he can win anymore. He's got a top deck for his life every single turn, and none of those things are going to be able to deal 10 damage off the top. So, and Blood is in its endgame now. It has the Temptress Vampire, has the Blood-Hungry Matriarch, has, Hungering Horde to deal with a Death's Breath. Basically all the options it needs now. So, Underwear putting himself in a terrible spot with that play.
Yeah. I'm really puzzled by the putting him in Vengeance. That doesn't do anything for him. So, I mean, I guess he could play it just to have something on board, but again, oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, in my mind, this is easy Bahamut into board wipe next turn.
Or he's just going to go face with that. That's fine too. There's literally zero wrong with this line. Also, there's no way for him to actually kill this Temptress Vampire. So, what'll happen, the Blood-Hungry Matriarch just slams the door. Game's over.
Yep, so another way to set up lethal. This one a little bit more flimsy because the Temptress could have been dealt with. But this will be enough for lethal. Kiermango taking this one pretty convincingly after the flub up by Underwear there.
Yeah, so this is exactly kind of what I meant. Like, Kiermango's playing really well, where Underwear just kind of I felt like, you know what that felt like? It felt like a tilted play. You know, like he did it and it was just like, you know what, man, whatever happens, happens.
You got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And in tournament, you really don't want to be putting yourself in positions where you're just, you know, or it's a potential that you could have won that game despite having a low hand size or anything like that. He would have been in a really good spot if he had just left him at 11. But that one damage from hitting with that Bone Chimera is what sealed his fate. Like, he ran in smack dab into 2 revelations.
Well, let's hope Underwear can pick himself up after that loss. You know, basically revisit what he did, get it out of his head, untilt, and get ready for this next matchup. See if he can pull it back here.
Come on, let's play together.
Now, here's an interesting question to ask you, since you have played in Shadowverse events, or just tournaments in general. But question is, how, if you were Underwear right now, okay, how would you go about getting yourself out of the tilt?
Honestly speaking, me over time, I've developed a way to, if I do get into tilt, like just stop, like take a brief little walk around, that kind of thing, just to like center my mind for a second. Underwear, of course, not doing that, just jumping right into his next game. I feel like that's the one thing. Not to like harp on Underwear or anything. I think he might just not be in tilt, and we're just like creating something out of nothing just to talk about. But if he is in tilt, just jamming right into the next game is usually not the thing you want to do. You want to give yourself at least a minute or so, like, you know, take a little walk, get a glass of water, something. And just relax your mind for a second so that it can be fresh for the next game, so you're not thinking about it anymore. Because that's the worst thing. If you think about it when the next game's going on, it will cause you to make just that one more mistake. You know what I mean? It's like a domino effect. But that's it. But again, he might not be in tilt. It might have just been a misplay. You know, those happen.
Well, you know, that's fair. So for those people out there who, if you are suffering from tilt and you are either just playing on ladder or you are playing in tournament, just take a step back, catch a breather, take a few seconds to compose yourself. Don't give in to the tilt.
Go give your cat or your dog a big hug. That'll make you smile, and then things will be right as rain.
All right. So, into this game.
Destiny calls.
Okay. Erd on nothing feels great.
I really don't like the Erd play here over Prince Catacomb. I know you don't get any value out of Prince Catacomb, or a lot of value, rather. But Erding not only gives your opponent an extra shadow, it sets up a really easy Soul Squasher target. Whereas a Prince Catacomb being evoed, you don't really care if it gets Soul Squashed, and it would still have dealt with the minion itself, or the follower itself. So, interesting choice here. I don't know if I like that line, and I don't know if that Prince Catacomb is going to get any better over time.
Right. Unfortunately, though, I think by playing that Erd, he's actually put himself in, surprisingly, an even worse situation than he was before. Because he's got no board, he's sitting with a Dead Moros that healed for a whopping 0. It is a 7-9 though.
This is actually a pretty cool turn though. This is where we could see Dead Moros actually pull some value here. And what I mean by that is the Soul Squasher's been played. No second Soul Squasher for Cure Mango to easily deal with this. So he's either just going to ignore it, or try to find a way to deal with it and expend a lot of resources to do so.
Well, it does not currently look like he has a way to deal with the Dead Moros. So let's see, what could he do? Actually, nope, he can't do that. Never mind.
3, 5, 6. Yeah,
well, he has 2. No, he has 2 zombie parties, so he could zombie party twice and then trade the.
Yep.
Yeah, he could trade the Demon Eater. So he definitely does have a way of dealing with it, but it doesn't look like he's going to.
No, looks like he's just going to ignore it and go face. He does have double Ektar. He's on the play. He has the board. Yep, I like this line of play. Just forget it. Don't worry about it. It's not that big of a deal. What that does allow, though, is for both of these Dark Conjurers to be live without actually using any random other Evos to get them active. So this is pretty cool. He might be able to clear the board pretty effectively here.
Let's see. He will be able to take out the 3/4 with a trade. Yeah, he'll be able to do a lot with the board. I mean, he's not gonna have. Yeah, This is yet another reason why, like, I'm just kind of shaking my head at Demaros, man. Yeah, I don't know, man.
It did a whole lot of being a big follower, but that's about it. It's not going to be any more impactful than the fact that it could technically deal 7 here, but if he chooses to do that, we know that Ektar's in hand will just eventually end the game with Kirmango being on the play here. So Underwear still, even if he deals, oh wow,
he went face, dude.
Wow,
he went face. What?
So he's taking the gamble now. He's saying you don't have Ektar. That's literally what he just said.
I don't know if I would ever make that statement. Especially not right now.
Wow, everything's going face. That's exactly what his game plan is. He said, you know what, you either have it or you don't. And that's exactly what the statement he made last game by putting Kirmango into Vengeance. You either have it or you don't. And
he's had it.
Kirmango's had it. Yep.
So, one very important thing to keep in mind, yeah, that's a jam, and yeah, that just feels awful. Like, again, like, that just feels like yet another tilt kind of play. Like, man, if he has it, he has it, and I'm dead. He could have, you know, played to avoid it, but he just didn't. He just did not try to avoid it.
So, you know, Mango taking that one pretty convincingly against Underwear there.
2-0. Yeah. What do you guys think? What are your thoughts on the decision? I know we talk a lot about a lot of this, and I think it's very hard for that to be communicated when we're watching a tournament and when we're watching these guys from the third-party perspective. But going through that thought process,